Hey, stepmamas, it's Terrie Vanover, and I help you to let go of the resentment so that you can build healthy, happy relationships in your step family. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you my number one tip for improving all the relationships in your home. That's right. So here's the thing. I was at a really amazing women's empowerment conference this week, and I was presenting, and it was on building healthy relationships, and it was just amazing. And I will tell you, there was a theme. There was a theme all day long, and I have to say, like, it even like helped me, right? So I'm going to share this number one tip that's going to like save all your relationships, right? And it's going to seem so simple. And there are some extra steps to it. And when you talk with me, I can kind of give you some additional things to think about. But what I want you to recognize that it is really, really important that you do whatever it takes to make this relationship work. Once you had one divorce, the chance of you having another divorce, and if you have children, which your stepmama, so I'm assuming that you do, right? Once you have children in the relationship, the chance of you having a divorce is 70%. I mean, that's like mind-blowing statistic for me. When I hear that, like, I just mind-blowing, right? If someone had told you, hey, get on this airplane, there's only a 70% of this airplane crashing, you would be like, hell no, I'm not jumping on that airplane, right? But you jumped into this relationship, or you consciously made a decision to be in this, just like me, yay. And I can tell you that it is difficult. Being a stepmother is difficult. There's oh my goodness, so much animosity and so many really negative stereotypes about stepmoms that our culture puts on us, and we just don't get the support. Step families in general have really lack of resources. So it's really important that you do whatever it takes to make this relationship work, to make this marriage work, because I can tell you, as the daughter who has a stepdad, I am so glad that he weathered the storm, that he stayed with us, that I'm so close to him. I'm so close with him, y'all. My mom passed away, and my relationship with my stepdad, I say I don't even call him stepdad because he's my dad. Like, it's just my dad, but really, he's not my biological father, but you'd never know that. So I'm so grateful. So I want you to commit to that as well. Be consciously committed to this relationship. Wake up every day like I do with my husband and say, what can I do to be different in this relationship? What can I do to improve this relationship? What can I do to make my husband happy, right? So that's my number one tip, right? How can you take responsibility and take ownership for how you're showing up in this family, how you're showing up as a wife and as a stepmom? And it's not easy, right? Because we kind of all have our stories in our head where, like, well, if only they'd listen, or, well, if my husband would do this, then I would do that, right? Well, listen, I get it, like, it's real easy. But when you don't take responsibility for yourself and when you blame others, you become the victim. Let's not be victims. We are not victims. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. And it's empowering. It's empowering to say, hey, I can change this. I can take ownership of this, and I can show up in a way that will really make an impact. And trust me, I have done it myself. I have improved my marriage because I have done what it takes to change me. When I show up differently in my marriage, when I show up differently with my children, they show up differently. They feel that energy. They feel that love. They feel that openness. And it's significant, right? We are mothers. We are leaders in our families. We are women. We are strong, right? And when we show up differently, we can change the world. We can change the world. I believe that, right? So take accountability for yourself in this relationship. So I'm going to give an example I was speaking with a client, and she is a strong, independent woman, but she kind of is a people pleaser. Deep down, she is a people pleaser. And she has actually broken up with this man that she was with for many, many years, but is still as a stepmother role to this young woman. And she's a people pleaser. And the truth was, because she was so strong and she was so cool, and there was that little part of her that was a people pleaser, she kind of was never completely honest about her feelings and completely communicated what it is that she truly wanted and what she truly needed. Because she was like, oh no, I'm cool, I don't want to make waves. She never wanted to make waves. I'm just cool, I'm good, I'm good. But deep down, she really kind of really wanted this, or really was angry about this, and never really truly was honest about that. And you know what? So what happened would build resentment. And that resentment, blew up the relationship. You can't, unless you're really honest with yourself. So if she had showed up differently in her relationship and was honest and said what she really meant and what she really needed, this relationship could have been saved. Because he was constantly, it built up this resentment between the two of them. Because he would say, I don't really know what you want. I don't think you're being authentic. And she was like, yes, I am. I'm cool. I'm this, I'm this. And the truth was, she really wasn't. And that can be destructive to a relationship. And I'll use me as an example. Last year we had quite a few struggles in our step family, and I recognized I needed to be the changing force. I needed to own my story. I needed to own the thoughts that were going on in my head, and I needed to say, you know what? I'm going to change how I interact. And when I was more loving and open and receptive, my stepkids were able to come to me more and were lying less. And, so it was this whole thing, right? Like when I made that shift, they made the shift. How I showed up in the relationship, I could have held on to that resentment. I could have blamed them for being like rotten stepkids that are always lying and always doing this and not doing this. But I was like, how can I own this? And how can I look at things from a different perspective? Because the truth was, when I recognized why they triggered me, what it was that they did that triggered me, I was like, oh, okay. Then I was less reactive. First, it was great because I looked at it as an opportunity to heal myself. I was like, oh, that's something I need to heal within myself. I need to really, really examine that and look at that. And the amazing thing is, like, I learned and grew from it. And I became a better person because of it. And then I became more accepting and loving and understanding, like, and not allow the thoughts to dictate my happiness, right? Because I would get so caught up. They weren't the most forthcoming. I would say that diplomatically, they weren't known for telling the truth and being honest and forthright, which again, that is a core value that I had. So I had to look at that and look at the thoughts around that. And I was able to kind of let go of some of that resentment and that thought and that anger about it. And amazing. And it's amazing how that relationship shifted. And what was great, y'all, not only just like how I showed up differently with my stepkids, but it created less distance energetically between us. And the amazing thing, my marriage became stronger because of it, because I showed up differently. I became more loving and accepting of my husband, let go of the stories in my head about my husband, and we just appreciate each other so much more. So listen, I've been there, y'all. I actually had gone at one point, it was so bad, I actually had gone to a hotel. I said, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't care that, like, I went through a horrible divorce and had lost everything, lost my home, lost my mom, lost my financial stability. I was like, oh, I would rather be homeless again than have to deal with this step family, right? And the amazing thing is I learned the tools and the resources and the strategies that you need to be happy in your step family. It is possible, right? You can go from like feeling so resentful and full of anger and rage and feeling open and and loved and appreciated, and creating a healthy, happy family. And I want that for you. So if you are struggling, if you're feeling desperate in your own family and you are looking for the way out, reach out to me, because I'm going to share some tips that maybe can just change your whole life, that can change your whole step family. What a great opportunity that would be, right? That you can be that changing force for your family. So reach out to me. You can just message me right here on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you need. We go live every Wednesday afternoon, and I look forward to getting to know you. All right, Terrie Vanover. Talk to you soon, guys, ladies.